Sales, S is seek, A is accept. Acceptance basically means taking ownership of the pain from the customer to yourself. Taking ownership of the dream to yourself. That means you own the pain, you own the game. You have to live the life of the customer if you want to do business correctly. Have you ever lived the life of an extremely impoverished person who is starving? You'll understand what starvation is. Those who are really afflicted, when they speak differently. It comes from within them. And that mesmerizes everybody. It's not talking from the head. It's not talking just for the sake of making people listen. It's from within you now. That passion, that fire in you, because you've experienced that pain. You can't even forget it. You can't overcome it. It's deeply entrenched in your memory. So A is when the business decides that I will take the pain of yours and try to live it, to understand what you're talking about. Because many of the customers are not articulate in telling what they are going through. They cannot express. So you have to live. You have to likewise live the dream of those people. So A is acceptance. L is leading them to a solution to remove the pain. So you actually test a product or a service, share this with them to figure out whether this will work, whether this will be of any use to them. You're now leading them to get a buy-in. Why? Because you have to get them to come on board with you. Unless and until their vision and your vision merge, there is no business. So this is the third stage, which is leading, getting both the dreams merged. Once that is done, based on that, no business will still thrive unless and until the customer knows that this business also will not lead them into the same path as before. Because there's a huge amount of accumulated hurt. So you have to embark on this journey. So E stands for embarking on the journey with the customer, going through step by step by step by step to the end of the journey. So embarking the journey means going through each and every step to check whether the pain is getting lesser and lesser and lesser. Once the customer goes through once, twice, the last one is serve. The service is a stamp of quality. I will not let you down. You can access me. But all that I'm interested in is your happiness. My business will thrive because of you. I thank you for the opportunity given. The serve element converts that customer to become your virtual employee all over the world. Because he has experienced it. Now he starts talking about it. That testimony comes from within because he's experienced it. And he wants to now tell the whole world that here is a business where you can be very secure and safe, that your journey of fulfilling your dream is actually reassured. So I go through this model and we framed questions to develop this. S stands for seek, A stands for acceptance, L stands for leading, E stands for embarking, and S stands for serving, the sales model. The sales model of business which I'm working on now, currently, is the model that will thrive. You look at any business and you can actually convert them into a beautiful, enjoyable business where the customers are your maximum partakers. If I use the framework of seeking to serve in the full acronym, which is SALES, with the 3 examples cited, let's revisit. The first is seek. In the case of the uncle's example, it's the children who shared the pain. In the case of Nagesh, it's once again the customers who shared the pain. In the case of Shyam Sundar, who decided to venture into a business, his motive was money. And therefore, he had not bothered to find out the pain or a dream that the customers were looking for. If you look at the acceptance point of the 3 stories, or taking ownership, in the case of the uncle, his message to the children was, "Leave it to me," as he took the textbook to work on it. In the case of Nagesh, the auto rickshaw driver, he said, "Let me try." In the case of Shyam Sundar, it was inflicting and reopening the wound the customers were already used to. If I look at the leading part of it, the story of the 5 were the tried method adopted by the uncle for the children. He led them to the answer. The answer was the reason for why 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. In the case of Nagesh, the auto rickshaw driver, he was trying to differentiate himself from all the other auto rickshaw drivers and give them a new experience of giving the precise change, experience of being polite, experience of understanding the pain of the customers, whether it be the kindergarten, whether it be the elderly, or whether it be the first-time travelers. In the case of embarking on this journey, both Nagesh and uncle shared the same embarking principle: you and me. It's not me alone, it's you and me. Whereas, in the case of Shyam Sundar, on the embarking part, it was basically a take it or leave it attitude. If there were no auto rickshaw drivers, he would be arrogant. If it were auto rickshaw drivers available and he was the one who was chosen, he would make it more difficult for the customers. And if the customer was intimidated, he would extract more. Serving. When it came to the uncle, all the customers who interacted with him, be it the children, the direct impact, the parents who were indirectly impacted, the principals of the schools who were indirectly impacted, they all wanted the uncle to get involved and create such interesting connects and linkages between the concepts, using cartoon characters which children could link up with and make teaching a much more enjoyable profession and reach out to the world. Likewise, in Nagesh's case, it's the customers who decided to take upon themselves, who experienced this new, brought in more business. In both Nagesh and uncle's case, their business model was driven by the customers. The steering wheel was handed over to the customers. And that's the new business model. Let the customers. Now, the only question that you may like to ask me is, should we look at the seek to serve model for all the customers? The answer is no. And therefore, the business is all about directed. It's directed to only those customers whose pain points match with your strength and you have a passion in you to remove those pain points. And that is the model of business. Your strength is their dream, and therefore we co-dream. So I decided to explain the serve model with these 3 examples which I had narrated to you. The concept is primarily selling to the soul. The soul is pure. This selling to the soul requires a completely revamped approach of doing business. So in summary, those 3 steps are: the step 1, business is not about money, but spreading joy. The step 2 is business is about a co-vision, co-creating a common vision. And the third one is seeking to serve. These are the 3 fundamentals on which a business can be built with no money or minimal funding. We have come to the end of the talk on business with no money or minimal funding. For those of you who still want to continue with your pursuit of starting on your own, I have a website which is not active, but I want to develop it into a book someday. It's called The Sales Chase. You can access me there. I do a lot of work in terms of teaching, training, as well as doing corporate work. So time is a bit limited, but my essence is on embarking on a new journey, my last innings, and that is to spread joy by empowering others, that it is possible to do business with no money. You can be self-employed. But in this world today, please do not restrict your dream to a small part of this world. When you speak in one corner of a room in this world, the world will hear you because of technology. You'll be heard. Once you're heard, and then you speak substance, and then you're found to be very genuine and trustworthy, you will change the world. Do business the right way. Do not do business the wrong way. Do not bring a lot of money from the bank and then live the life of always getting those calls on interest returns, facing unhappy customers. That's not the business model we are talking about. This is a revamped 360-degree model. So live your life, own your life, choose the vocation that you pursue. You want to be a musician, be the best one. You want to be a singer, be the best one. But collaborate with like-minded people for a common vision. They bring their expertise to the party. You bring your expertise to the party. Together we will work. Business is all about togetherness. You cannot win the battle of business being alone. You need to have several different experts working, but towards one common vision. These are my words, which I'll end. Thank you very much for giving me the time, and do well in life. God bless each one of you. Thank you.
You raise me up so I can